Hey Lakers Nation, my name is Trevor Lane, senior writer for LakersNation.com, and this is the Lakers Nation news feed breaking down the latest Lakers news. Guys, today we're talking about, well, what else are we talking about? Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis trade rumors are flying like crazy. I'm going to dig into the very, very latest, and things just keep getting more and more surreal, so we've got tons to talk about right now. Before I do, though, a couple of favors, guys. If you could, please head over to bit.ly/Lakers survey. It takes you about 15 seconds to fill out this real quick survey for us. Helps us out a ton with our advertisers and with us keeping the lights on and all that. So again, bit.ly/Lakers survey. Again, bit.ly/Lakers survey. If you could do that for me, I would really appreciate it. Again, it takes you like 15 seconds. You can do it while you're listening to this. Just open up another window. Isn't technology wonderful? Go ahead, please, guys, do that for us. Would really appreciate it. And this show is sponsored by Robinhood. Okay, head over to lakers.robinhood.com for a very, very cool offer. An amazing app. Lets you buy and sell stock directly from your phone. It's one that I literally use every single day on my phone, and Robinhood is just, it's amazing. So go check it out. And in fact, because you're listening to this show, you get free stock. I'm not joking, free stock. Go to lakers.robinhood.com and get free stock and check it out. It's a really cool app, again, that I personally use. I definitely recommend. So go check it out, lakers.robinhood.com. All right, guys. So here I am, Friday evening. It's getting late. I'm thinking, man, it's been a long week. We've had all these trade rumors flying. I'm probably safe to go ahead and get some sleep. Nope. I was wrong. I'm coming to the conclusion that there is no sleep until the trade deadline at this point because Anthony Davis rumors just will not stop. And I love it. It's amazing. I love the NBA trade deadline. There's so many different things going on. I mean, we talked all about the Kristaps Porzingis trade the other day on the Lakers Nation postgame show, which you guys should definitely check out on Facebook Live after every single game. But Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania, Adrian Wojnarowski, of course, being of ESPN, and Shams Charania of The Athletic, they both tweet out some details of offers that the Lakers have supposedly made to the New Orleans Pelicans for Anthony Davis. Okay, get ready for them. Here they are. Adrian Wojnarowski said the Lakers are offering Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Rajon Rondo, Michael Beasley, and a first-round pick for Anthony Davis. Shams Charania said the Lakers are offering 2 young players, so similar to what Woj said, plus Rondo or Stevenson in exchange for Anthony Davis. Okay, now everybody kind of freaked out. If you follow basketball Twitter, you saw people just criticizing the Lakers left and right. Woj even posted a story to ESPN about how the Lakers are essentially lowballing the New Orleans Pelicans. And I thought, now is a good time to break this down, to kind of dive into this, because we tend to overreact to these things. It's what we do. We look at stories like this, and we tend to forget the big rule when there's a trade rumor coming out, especially when it's this time of year, when it's this close to the trade deadline. You have to think about what's being said, who the source might be, and what their agenda is. Because, guys, there are so many different agendas right now. You've got the Pelicans and what they want. You've got the agents and what they want, especially Rich Paul. You've got the Lakers and what they want. And so you're going to get these conflicting stories coming out. Not to say that Woj or Shams have it wrong or that this is incorrect or anything, but there's going to be different versions of the truth. Right? There are shades of gray in all of this. So when you're looking at a trade rumor, for the classic example would be, hey, if let's make up 2 teams. Let's say if the Portland Trail Blazers called the Houston Rockets and wanted to talk about getting James Harden, and it was C.J. McCollum for James Harden, and the Trail Blazers call him up. And they say, hey, you guys interested in trading James Harden for C.J. McCollum? The Rockets say, nope. They hang up the phone. Well, hey, they just talked about a potential swap that would involve C.J. McCollum and James Harden. It didn't go anywhere. Nothing came from it. But still, a report could be published and be true that discussions were had about that swap. Okay, so things can be misconstrued. is my point here. Sometimes we take things as gospel, we take things as being set in stone, and this is definitely what happened, and it's so ridiculous that one side offered this or the other side didn't accept this. We don't know the exact details. There's often a lot more going on. And Woj even admitted that, hey, there have been other offers as well, but right now the word is that the Pelicans are not interested in what the Lakers are selling. They're not interested in these deals. This isn't something that is appealing to them, and that's not surprising. Okay, you look at what Kristaps Porzingis just netted the New York Knicks. Okay, and think about how different the situations are. Anthony Davis, yes, he's got an injured finger right now, but he's going to be back shortly. Right, he's relatively healthy. He's got another year under contract, and he is a legitimate MVP candidate when he's healthy. Okay, Kristaps Porzingis is a young player, could be very, very good if he's healthy, but he's injured and probably out for the season. So you've got that to contend with, and he's got to get paid this next summer. Plus, he's been threatening to take the qualifying offer. So all of these things are going to lower the value of Porzingis. Porzingis is nowhere near as valuable as Anthony Davis. I think everybody would agree with that. Well, what did Porzingis get? He got 2 first-rounders, a young player in Dennis Smith Jr., plus cap relief. Okay, that's a pretty solid offer. And you could say that the Lakers offer, the reported offer here of Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Rondo, Beasley, and a pick for Anthony Davis, maybe it's equal in value. I think some would argue that it's not even equal in value to what the Mavs gave up for Porzingis, and obviously they're different situations. So you can understand if that was the actual offer, where the Pelicans might feel underwhelmed, right? They might be a little bit offended. But at this stage, again, we're talking Friday. We've got 6 days until the NBA trade deadline. The Lakers are just starting discussions. Why would they offer the kitchen sink? Why would they offer everything right out the gate? Because usually there's a back and forth. There's a bit of negotiation. That's the way these things work. Now, Brad Turner did report just the other day of the LA Times, who, I can say this, Woj and Shams, from what we can tell so far by reading between the lines, it doesn't appear that their source is coming from within the Lakers, based on what they've been reporting, right? It would do the Lakers no good to put out a report that, or to leak a rumor that their offers have been underwhelming. That doesn't benefit the Lakers in any way, right? So we can assume that the source that Woj is talking to and that Shams is talking, and by the way, it's interesting that they both publish these tweets at the same time. So you can just imagine there's probably someone, whoever the source is, guessing it's either someone within the Pelicans or an agent somewhere, is in a group text, right? And texting Woj and Shams the same thing at the same time, and then they race and they tweet it out. But in any event, that wouldn't benefit the Lakers for that information to come out there. It does benefit the New Orleans Pelicans because they're trying to drive the price up. And this is exactly what they should be doing. And yes, everybody's going to panic and freak out a little bit. And oh my gosh, the Lakers aren't taking this seriously. Woj even compared it to the way the Lakers handled the Paul George situation and the Kawhi Leonard situation. I'm not ready to go there. I don't think I can go that far and say that this is the Lakers' final offer, or that this is even accurate. We don't really know. I mean, Brad Turner is pretty plugged in with the Lakers, and he said that they're offering 5. They have 5 different offers, and that one of them included basically everyone. Lonzo, Kuzma, Ingram, Zubats, and a first. So who do you trust? Well, again, Brad Turner is probably more plugged in with the Lakers. It's probably coming from that side. Makes more sense for the Lakers offer to sound strong. From the Pelican side, which is what we can guess where Woj is pulling and Shams is pulling their information from, makes more sense to make the Lakers offer sound weak. Why? Well, you want to vilify the Lakers in this whole scenario. You want the Lakers to feel pressure to kind of up their offer. And you also want opposing teams around the league. Again, all this is if you're the Pelicans. You want other teams to feel like, hey, we can get in on this. We have a shot here. So we've been hearing things like Brian Windhorst mentioned that the Pelicans just aren't that interested in the Lakers' pieces. They aren't that excited about them. Well, you know what? Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, these guys are very polarizing. And by that I mean not every team in the league believes they're future stars. Some do. Some think that Lonzo Ball is going to be great, that he's had a little bit of a rough start, but he's going to be a really, really good point guard going forward. Okay, same thing for Brandon Ingram, same thing for Kyle Kuzma. From team to team, their value varies a lot. right? A guy like Anthony Davis, the value is going to be seen as pretty consistent. Teams are all going to see him as a superstar. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, those guys, they're not really sure what they have in them just yet. So if you are the Pelicans, and if, say, you're leaking something to someone like Brian Windhorst or Woj or one of these guys, it makes a lot of sense to put out there that you're underwhelmed with these offers, because those opposing teams, other teams around the league may go, oh man, yeah, they offered that. We don't like Lonzo Ball either. I can totally see why they wouldn't be interested in that. And hey, maybe we can get in on the bid. And then maybe they offer something that the Pelicans are more interested in, or that the Pelicans weren't expecting to get offered. Okay, if you are selling a superstar, you want to hear every offer, because you never know. Someone may offer you something that you weren't expecting to get, and you want to encourage that. If word had broke that, hey, the Lakers offered everything and the Pelicans were blown away by the offer and they're just working out the details, well, that dissuades other teams from trying to get in on the bidding, because they feel like, well, we don't want to get into this huge bidding war. But if they hear the Lakers offer was super, super low, then they think they don't have to beat out too big of an offer, and then maybe they can work something out there. Maybe the Pelicans get a discussion going. It's the game within the game, guys. It's the way these things work, okay? And you have to also keep in mind the timing of this, all right? Because earlier today, everything that's been happening in the last about 24 hours has been going the Lakers' way, has been looking better for the Lakers. First, you've got Kristaps Porzingis getting traded. Okay, that pretty much knocks the Knicks out of the running for Anthony Davis. Not entirely. It's still possible, right? But we know the Knicks did try to put together a deal for Davis using Kristaps Porzingis. The Pelicans were not interested, right? Understandable. Again, big risk. Porzingis is injured. He's threatening to take the qualifying offer. You would only have him for maybe a year. Understand why that offer wouldn't fly. But the bottom line is the Knicks now don't have that big trade chip in Porzingis. Instead, they've got Dennis Smith Jr., who they could flip, but they have to deal him in a one-for-one type of situation. You can't combine him with other assets now. They have a couple of picks that they got from the Mavericks. Maybe you combine that with their own pick, but no one knows what their own pick is going to be just yet. If their pick is number 1 overall, then it's obviously a lot more interesting than if it's, say, 5th overall. Okay, we don't know where their draft pick is going to fall, and the Pelicans don't either, so that uncertainty might dissuade them from making a deal with the Knicks right now. Bottom line, the Knicks' offer for Anthony Davis is not as strong as it was before the Porzingis trade. Most likely. Okay? Again, they could still try to get in on it, and we've heard them connected with Anthony Davis a little bit, but it just doesn't seem like, if the Lakers really go after him, it doesn't seem like the Knicks can beat that offer. Then the Kyrie Irving stuff breaks, right? This morning, hey, because you never know when this stuff's going to break. This morning, Kyrie Irving gets asked. People ask him, hey, what's going on with this kind of rumbling that we're hearing that maybe you won't stick with the Boston Celtics? He told Celtics fans, I'm staying. I'm going to stick with the Celtics. I like it here. We're winning. I'm not going anywhere in free agency next summer. Now, we've been hearing that maybe that's changing. He's been talking with LeBron. Maybe there's going to be a reunion, or maybe he's going to go to New York. Maybe now that the Porzingis deal is done and the Knicks will have 2 max cap slots, maybe Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are going to go to New York. And guys, let me tell you, I've been hearing that the Knicks do, and I'm not the only one saying this, there's other people who have been saying this too, but that the Knicks feel like they're getting Kevin Durant. And that makes the Kristaps Porzingis deal make all kinds of sense. If you feel like, hey, if we can open up 2 max slots, we're getting KD and we're going to get Kyrie or somebody like that, man, that makes a lot of sense. That explains why you would move Porzingis and use him to clear cap space, kind of like the Lakers did with D'Angelo Russell. Anyway, so Kyrie gets asked, hey, the Knicks have this cap space now. Are you staying? And instead of saying, like he did last time, instead of saying, yes, I'm staying, Kyrie says he's going to do what's best for him. He says, I don't owe anyone shit. That's what he said, right? He's going to do what's best for him. That isn't going to make Celtics fans feel warm and fuzzy, and that's not going to make the Celtics feel like, oh, Kyrie is definitely staying. Why does that matter? Well, because if Kyrie is going to leave next summer, then the Celtics probably aren't going to want to throw in a Jason Tatum, who's the future for their team, especially if Kyrie is gone, in a deal for Anthony Davis, which means their offer gets weaker. If the Celtics offer isn't all that strong this next summer, then that gives the Pelicans less incentive to hold on to Anthony Davis through the trade deadline, which the Lakers want to get this deal done before the end of the trade deadline. So now they'll have less incentive to hold on to him through the trade deadline and wait until next summer when the Celtics are eligible to trade for him. Now, of course, we've heard that the Celtics still believe they're keeping Kyrie Irving. They're not dissuaded from chasing Anthony Davis. They're going to go after him with everything they've got. But again, consider the source. Where is it coming from? Who does it benefit for that information to get out? Okay, and again, it works the other way too, right? It works the other. I mean, okay, Kyrie was a direct quote. That's not a leak or anything like that. He said it. Okay, so we can't really say that was leaked on purpose. But there have been things that have come out that have helped out the Lakers as well. Okay, look at Anthony Davis's dad, right? He gets out there, and he sends a text to ESPN. And this is his, I'm reading this verbatim. He says, "I would never want my son to play for Boston after what they've done to Isaiah Thomas. No loyalty. Guy gives his heart and they traded him." Again, Anthony Davis's dad doesn't make Anthony Davis's decisions for him. He's a grown man. He's an athlete. He's a multimillionaire. He's going to make his own decisions. But still, those are some pretty strong opinions about what happened in Boston. And we've heard time and time again that, hey, the Boston Celtics are not a place that Anthony Davis wants to be. He doesn't see them as a long-term option. And a statement like that only goes that much further to convince the Celtics that Anthony Davis telling them, "I will not stay. I am going to the Lakers in 2020. If you trade for me, I am a rental. I am gone in 2020. This statement only helps to further the belief that Anthony Davis is not bluffing in that. So again, another thing that could dissuade the Celtics from making that big offer and then push the Pelicans to make a deal now with the Los Angeles Lakers. So things have been going well for the Lakers. So it makes a whole lot of sense for something to come out to sort of bring some of that leverage back. Because things have been looking good so far for the Lakers. Everything's been breaking their way. Right? Everything's been suggesting that they're going to have, even though they've got this deadline coming up and even though they've got this urgency, that they do have a little bit of leverage here. It doesn't sound like there's that many other teams that can make a realistic offer that can beat the Lakers. We've heard the Toronto Raptors as a sleeper team. We've heard the Denver Nuggets as well. But again, if the Lakers really go after them, it feels like at this point they should be able to put forth the best offer. And if they do, and we don't know if they will, but if they do push all their chips into the center of their table, like Brad Turner of the LA Times has suggested they have, if they do that, then it doesn't seem like the Pelicans can really decline that offer unless they're just being, team petty and not wanting to give Anthony Davis to the Lakers, which, I mean, hey, that's their right. If they want to take a lesser offer, they are free to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing that says they can't do that. It's just not a particularly smart way to run a franchise, especially one that's rebuilding. But these leaks from Woj and Shams coming on the heels of all of these things that have been going right for the Lakers, now you've got something that goes wrong for the Lakers and is suggesting that the Lakers offer is underwhelming and hey, other teams, maybe you want to get your offers in. That just reeks of an attempt at bringing back some of that leverage. Okay, getting back a little bit of that leverage, trying to open up trade talks with other teams. Because at the end of this, and at this point, I kind of feel like the Pelicans are going to make a move here by the deadline. But at the end of this, their goal is to get as many assets as they possibly can for Anthony Davis. Right? The Lakers, they'd love to hang on to some of their young players. They'd love to hang on to Brandon Ingram. Just give them Lonzo Ball and Kuzma. Okay, or hang on to Kuzma and give them Lonzo Ball and Ingram, or hang on to Lonzo. Whatever the combination is, they'd love to keep as many of their assets as possible. On the flip side, the Pelicans want to get as many as possible. They want multiple future firsts. They want all the young players. They want the Lakers to take on bad contracts. They have to meet somewhere in the middle. There's going to be a negotiation. There's going to be a back and forth. And sometimes that plays out through the media. And I believe that's what we're seeing happen right now. But I keep going back to this one thing. This one thing that I find interesting, and I know I've been going on for a while about this, but we've been putting the pieces of the puzzle together for some time, and we're going to continue doing this until the trade deadline. Anthony Davis has been removed from the Pelicans organization. He's been removed from their entrance video. They had to tell someone, go in and take Anthony Davis out of our hype video that plays before our games. And I get it. They don't want fans booing because that would probably be the reaction. But that's a pretty quick turnaround to erase Anthony Davis. They took him out of it. And that to me suggests they're ready to move on. Okay. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they're trading with the Lakers. And they continue to say that they're fine with waiting through the trade deadline and they will look for the best offer. And if it means that it comes next summer, they're fine with that. But that is exactly what they should be saying right now. If the Lakers were in their position, I would expect the Lakers to say the same thing, even if they are really desperate to trade him by the deadline. And really, they are hoping they can get a good offer by the deadline because they don't want to go through the hell of having reporters every single day asking about the Anthony Davis situation and this cloud hanging over their franchise for the next 6 months until July, until the Boston assets are able to be traded. That even if that's the situation, they should be saying that they are totally fine with waiting because, again, it's leverage. Okay, if they put out there that they're desperate to sell, they're going to get pennies on the dollar. They're not going to get equal value for Anthony Davis, but they want to get as many assets as they can. Okay, so that's what's going on here. We're seeing this back and forth play out in the media. I wouldn't be surprised if something gets leaked even maybe later tonight or tomorrow. Maybe some of our friends at the LA Times, Brad Turner, Tanya Ganguly, somebody like that, Ramona Shelburne, who's very connected with the Lakers, puts out something that swings things the other way. We're going to see this back and forth battle, and that is what I believe is we're seeing is happening right now with Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania. And again, I'm not saying those guys are wrong at all because they are phenomenal. They're excellent at what they do. Okay, but you always have to consider who is giving them that information and what their agenda may be. I'm also going to throw this out there as evidence that Davis may indeed be moved. We're hearing that the Pelicans have been shopping other players on their roster, win now players like Julius Randle, Nikola Mirotic, Etuan Moore, players like that. I even saw Drew Holiday's name pop up, although that's been kind of pushed back against because he's so beloved in New Orleans. But if you're a franchise that is going to look to tank, which it appears the Pelicans are on the verge of doing that, then you're going to offer up pieces like that. You're going to try to get assets. You're going to try to get picks for those types of players. And if you're going to make that kind of a move, that suggests that Anthony Davis probably isn't going to be part of your team because he's very much a win-now player. And again, it could just be that, hey, they wait through the trade deadline, they keep Anthony Davis, and then they just tell him don't come back. They just kind of exile him from the team. That could be the plan, all right? So just floating Julius Randle's name and Mirotic's name and Moore and all of that isn't necessarily a sign that Davis is getting moved at the deadline. They could still do that. They could still get assets for those guys and tank by just telling Anthony Davis to stay home. That's possible. That could happen. But again, if it's me, it feels like the Pelicans are preparing to truly reboot this thing, to truly go ahead and rebuild. Gut their roster, get whatever assets they can, head in the summer with a high draft pick, and then move from there. It seems like that's an option on the table for them if you read between the lines in all this. All right. That was probably the longest news feed that we've done here. But again, so much to break down in these negotiations, so much going on here in this. It's fascinating. There's no getting around it. It is fascinating. And this is why the NBA is the absolute best league. Because, I mean, like, who's talking about the Super Bowl right now? We're all talking about these amazing trades that are going down in the NBA and all these rumors that are flying. Incredible stuff. Amazing the way the NBA can captivate us. I'm going to be on pins and needles all the way through the trade deadline until Anthony Davis is eventually dealt or not. I know you guys are too. So make sure you guys keep it tuned here to the Lakers Nation newsfeed. Again, if you're on YouTube, give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you're watching this on the Lakers Nation YouTube channel, are you reading the same things that I am when you're breaking down this situation? Do you think I'm right in my assessment of it? If you're listening to this on LakersNation.com, of course, go ahead and comment there. If you're listening to this on the Lakers Nation Facebook page, comment. Let us know. I go through, I read them, I respond to some of them. Let me know, guys. Do you think the whole situation is going to play out like I'm describing it as? Do you think that this is all negotiating through the media? Or is one side wrong? The LA Times guys that are saying that the Lakers have put forth all of these players, are they wrong? Is Woj wrong? Shams wrong? What do you guys think is really happening there? I'm interested to get all your opinions. So go ahead and fire them out there. I'm going to respond to a bunch of them. And yeah, let's enjoy this trade deadline. Once again, guys, my name's Trevor Lane. You can follow me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane and on Instagram at Trevor Lane NBA. If you're watching this on YouTube, guys, please subscribe and then hit that little bell to get your notifications so every time we put out a new video, you get notified. We try to keep you up to date with all the latest going on in the world of the Los Angeles Lakers. So please make sure you do that. And don't forget to go check out lakers.robinhood.com. Get your free stock, people. It's a very, very cool app. Go check it out. Till next time. See ya.